Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Welcome back. I want everyone right now to go subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast YouTube channel. Follow us on IG at the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Really lock in with us. Follow us on Facebook, Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. You can find us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. P, we got another special one tonight.
Ooh, we got another one, man.
I mean, just a pure impact, heart, vision for the youth here in the city of Boston and just everywhere, man. A coach, a mentor, Boston's own Mitch Herkel. What's going on, big dog?
How we doing, man? I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
No doubt. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, let's get into it, man. Let's lock in.
Oh, let's lock in, Mitch, man. So describe to the viewers where you grew up at and where your sports journey started.
All right, so just a kid from the Gallivan, man. Just grew up trying to make a way, and sports was kind of the thing that everybody was doing. It was either sports or, the gang banging. That wasn't my thing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even going front, but just athletics kind of just made a journey for me, made a path for me. Going to high school, playing ball, then being able to play college basketball, and then branching out and being a coach. And now I do a lot of skill development work, some youth community work. I don't think I would have been doing any of this stuff if I didn't pick up that basketball. It's just, it just introduces you to so many different people, and it opens up so many avenues. I don't know what I would do without that Spalding, man.
I hear you, big dog.
Yeah.
So let the people know where you from in Boston, what high school you went to, and who were the Southern cats you was busting ass against?
So I went to O'Brien.
Shout out to OB.
Yes, I played in the era where there was a lot of stars in the city, man. There wasn't all the prep school moves yet. We had Elton was at West Roxbury, Monty Mack and those guys was at Southie. They had Rick King and Dunston and all those guys at Eastie. Tim Campbell and Kev Andrews at English. It was the city was loaded.
These are some legends.
Loaded back then, man. It was loaded. Yeah, so it was a tough go every night.
So compared to them, where was Mitch's game? How did you dominate back then? Because we all want to know who was you giving 20?
Because you just named a lot of dogs, so I want to see how you matched up with these guys.
So hey, man,
talk your shit, man.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck. You win some and you lose some, and we came up short a lot with those guys. But I did gain my respect competing. So we did definitely put some work in. The talent pool was crazy in the city, like I said, but a lot of guys went Division I. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't the big prep school move yet. And that prep school move, it kind of watered down what the city is really about. Because all those guys are, they're out there playing, and you don't even get the chance to see them anymore.
Right.
It's in terms of the prep school move, how really for young, for the hooping community now, how prevalent is it? Because prep school is not inexpensive. It's pretty. A lot of guys don't even have access to cars or whatever. To get out to these schools because they're out in the burbs. And but how prevalent it is for young families right now with the young son or daughter that has the potential to play at a high next level. How prevalent is that prep school move now?
So I'll be honest with you. Prep school, you go to a prep showcase, you might see Coach K. You might see, Donovan. You might see anybody, Izzo, Michigan State. You'll see all those coaches in the gym. So at that prep school level is very important they try to get to that level. But my thing is, everybody's not a prep school kid. Everybody doesn't have prep school game. And my thing is, if they're paying for you to go to prep school, then you should be there. If you're paying to go to the prep school, they're just taking your money. So you got to look at it as a perspective, hey, I'm good. I get you 18 a game. I go to prep, get you 7 to 8 a game. you're paying,
Right.
right? But if you could go to prep and get 25, you're not paying, and you're playing all the minutes.
Right.
So
Right.
that's the benefit of it. But it's like, who knows who's the prep school kids and who doesn't? And that's the scary part, because a lot of kids get lost in the shuffle. A lot of kids go prep, pay that little bit of money, then they realize it's bigger than just basketball up there, and then they end up coming back home, And like, when you show that I'm just trying to get out the hood, and by any means, I get it, but like, you got to make smart decisions. And a lot of people have like people around them that are telling them that they're better than they are, and it's tough, because you can't tell a kid you're not ready for prep school when the five guys that's hanging with him's telling them that he is.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeesh.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're heavily involved on the local scene. Like, what I mean, why can't we, city of Boston, like any other, major city here in the Commonwealth, why can't we make our public school leagues like elite showcases where these top coaches can come and get this talent?
Resources. Resources for one, networking for two. I just think, to be honest, there's just a lot of high schools in Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and the talent is dispersed, and it's not evenly dispersed, but it's dispersed. Whether it's these kids going to prep, or there's a couple of kids here, there's a couple of kids there. So like a showcase, like for teams, the last time I remember that was happening was let me see, when they had the shooting touch tournaments, where Reebok was coming down, and St. Anthony's and Christ the King was coming down, and New Mission will play, Brighton will play, East Boston will play, Charlestown will play. But those were like the major teams at that time, where there's a lot of talent running around. But right now, I don't see too many showcases where the city kids get the opportunity to play against that high caliber talent. Unless it's on the AAU circuit, I don't really see it. Maybe in like the last 10 years, I haven't seen it. So it's very tough, because everybody wants this exposure, everybody needs the exposure. But like, some people go on the road, they get the exposure. Some people go on the road and get exposed.
Right.
There's a difference,
Right. Right. Right.
and then
Right.
some people can't recover from getting exposed,
Right.
So it's a dangerous slippery slope that people play with, man. And I've seen a lot of kids come home really hurt, because they either couldn't play at that level, the coach thought they couldn't play at that level, and then their confidence just sinks, man.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, that's real. That's
Uh,
facts. That's facts. P, you ever went to a tryout or a tournament where, other cats were just by far either better trained or prepared than you?
I don't want to say better trained, but I want to say, like, you can see the difference levels that Mitch is talking about, because there are levels to the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I remember when we went to Trenton, New Jersey for the RBI tournament. I made the All-Star team there. I was 18, and when we went out to Trenton, like, you can tell, like, these kids they practice. Like, this is like that. I mean, you had cats, like, it was like, you can tell we was like the city kids. Like, for some reason, you could tell that we was a city kid, not because of the talent, but the structure of the team was just built so just differently. You know what I mean? I mean, there was cats out there throwing 95, and I'm like, at that time, we don't see that in the city
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
much.
Hmm.
If you play baseball, you don't see that in the city. You may see one or two cats, throwing 95 or
High
whatever.
80s, not yeah, yep. High 80s,
Right.
low 90s.
Exactly.
At
80s
least
and
one
90s.
cat. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So when I was out there, I was like, you see cats throwing 95 on the rack. I'm like, oh shit! Like, this is real. Like, this is real. And you could just tell. And like I was saying about the gameplay, like, you could see cats bunting when and in different situation where cats like us in the city, we're trying to go for the long ball. You know what I mean, we're trying to hit home runs left and right, but we wasn't playing that small ball, bunt the guy over, stealing, hitting runs and stuff like that. And that's the difference that I seen. You know, when I went out in the tournament, I was like, oh, okay, it's real out here.
You could tell they was practicing all year round.
All year round.
All
and
year
that's because
round.
they got the facilities and all that stuff.
Yeah, the resources.
The resources, like
it always comes back to the resources and the opportunity and the time. You don't got these coaches that are, you know, you have some coaches that are willing to do it all year round, but for the majority, like it's very difficult when you're not getting paid the amount that you think you deserve to go all year round, even though the kids need it. So it's a catch-22. Like, you know, a lot of the coaches that are really good coaches are coming out of their pockets. Like, you know, when you get your check from the city, like your basketball coaching check or whatever, like a kid has a birthday, you have a birthday party for him. You know, you get food for him. Boom, that little bit of change is gone. You know, you get some extra equipment. Boom, that's gone. You want to take them to a situation where they're playing some elite competition. You pay for a tournament. Boom, you know, that money's gone. You know, so like it's either you're gonna spend, or you're gonna sit back and just let these kids play in the city where they're not seeing the competition that's really out there.
Right.
Facts. So, I mean, I like the point that you made in terms of, I mean, when a lot of these kids go to these showcases, some are able to rise to the occasion and ball and meet the level of competition, and some people come back exposed, man. And I know we were going over about, you know, resources and you know, playing all year round. I mean, I think when there's a will, there's a way. I mean, whether it's the coach, whether it's the player, or their support system, because on any given day, you can go to Berlin Nicole Vector, you can go to Marshalls, you go in the back of the store, and there's a whole bunch. I get all my athletic equipment from there. You got cone drills, you got weights, you got pretty much everything, like hitaways. I mean, if you're a football player, you got the parachutes, the battle ropes. So I mean, what happened to this by any means mentality where like, yo, I'm gonna get after it the best way I can. I'm gonna put together the drills for myself, or like we can go to the local courts, even though it's cold up here in Mass. So all the cats like, yeah, I'm not trying to like brave the elements. But being from here, like this is what we got to do in order to get to D1, get to the pros. So like, why isn't there that mentality now?
I feel like there's not a lot of people like that really know what to do, right? As kids, right? Like you can have all the equipment, but like you don't really know what's working or what's not working. You know, everything's trial and error. And there's a lot of opportunities for you to go to different trainers now, which it wasn't when I was younger. Like there wasn't people out there training like that. We had a couple of people at the community centers, you know, put you through a workout or something. But now you have all these skilled trainers around that are, you know, you could go to this place and get working. But everything, you know, it costs, you know. And some of the people are really good at what they do. It's just unfortunate that, you know, a lot of our city kids don't have the opportunity to pay for constant services because they just don't have it. You know, it's either the parents are going to pay for, you know, the groceries for the month or the training. You know, but there's also other circumstances where you got these kids with these $90 elite bags and $300 Adidas and $300 Nikes, you know, that can pay and are not willing to, right? So it's a combination of a lot of different things. And, you know, when you have a conversation with a kid, you're like, listen, you have to do things to separate yourself, right? I know a kid, Radio. You probably heard Radio.
Yep. We had him on a show.
So when Radio was in high school,
shout out to Radio.
Yeah, I would never forget this. So Radio used to get up in the morning and run miles before school.
Mr. Right? No days off.
Yeah, and I always tell my kids, I'm like, listen, you know, you see this kid, he's like one of the hardest working kids I ever seen. And I call him a kid because obviously he's younger than me, but they're looking at him like, yeah, who's this guy? But I'm like, he's one of the hardest working people that I've ever seen.
Right.
And he's a constant pro. Every year he's playing somewhere professionally. I'm like, if you want to be a pro, you got to do what pros do. You know what I'm saying? And like these kids are not willing to do what pros do.
Right. Right.
So you can't, no matter what you do for them or with them, if they're not willing to put in that work to separate themselves, it's not going to happen. Regardless of, what resources you have, what access to facilities you have. If you don't got it in you to work harder than everybody else, then it's not going to work because it's what 1%.
Right.
1% is going to be a pro. So, you got to be that 1%, and that means you got to sacrifice. You can't go, hang out with your friends. You can't go watching movies all night. You can't play the video games all night. Like you got to make sacrifices. And my thing is, like a lot of these kids want it. They say they want it, but show me that you want it.
Right.
And they're not showing it. Some are. Don't get me wrong, because we having a lot of Division 1, Division 2 players coming out of Mass and the New England area, which is great. It's more than I've seen, in a long time. It's being more consistent. So I love to see that. But it's just the work. Some people are willing to do it and some people are not.
Yeah,
And
facts.
that's something that I'm glad that you touched upon that because that was going to be my answer when D asked the question. I mean, I just don't see it in a lot of these kids, the will to get it, to really go out and grind. You know what I'm saying? Like you just said, D, you highlighted like you went and bought cones and stuff like that. Because I remember when when you was playing football, we would go out in the field. You had the cones, the parachute, the whole
Parachute.
nine.
Yeah. I used
You
to
know
go
what
in
I
East
mean?
Bay. Yeah, I mean, my little allowance money
Yeah.
went straight to East Bay.
Right, right. But like you just said, your allowance money went to East Bay. Some cats are taking that allowance money, they're buying the PS4s or the PS5s or whatever the case is, the new J's, and it's all about if you really want it, you have to, like Mitch said, you got to really go out there and grind. Cause I remember there was times that shit, we had the baseball field, we had rice out there every Saturday mornings. I would go out 8 o'clock in the morning, run a couple laps, 10 laps, 10 laps, 10 laps, sprint, 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 and then hit, and then hit. So you really got to show the will to want it because it's not just, okay, I'm going to just go out there and play. Yeah, all these cats are playing.
Hmm.
All these cats are playing. How are you going to separate yourself from the B list to be an A list, athlete? And I just feel like a lot of these kids nowadays, they don't they don't have it in them. I
I
mean,
mean, there's so
some
much to
do.
compete with. There's so much to compete with. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think, Mitch, when you were growing up in your generation, I mean, I was a little kid because my brother went to West T, and I know he used to play against Molly all the time. Yeah, I mean, it was just like that's all they had to compete with. They didn't have anything else to compete with: basketball, baseball, football, and girls. It was just those four things. I
Yeah.
Right.
mean, and music. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm saying music. Now, I mean, it's just too much to compete with. Yeah, bro. You mean on TikTok, you're on the gram. You know what I mean? You got
That's okay.
like it's just so much to compete with, man. But I mean, Mitch, how do you go about reaching these kids now? What is like I saw your post the other day, and I thought it was dope. That's why I reposted it. I mean, what is your message to these young youth right now in terms of okay, using sports as an avenue to really either find joy or to really find success in life?
Mm.
So when I think about sports, I just think about the people that you meet, the people that you come across, the doors that you could potentially open. And I just tell these people, don't burn bridges.
Right. Right.
Um, Take sports as like life, like you put into it, and then you get out of it. So like if you don't put the work in, you're not gonna get it out. You gotta make sure that when you go sports and you go the real world, it's a correlation. You
Talk about
understand
it, preach about it. Yep,
you
yep.
understand
Mhm.
how to communicate with others. You understand how to have that empathy and that sympathy for others. You sacrifice for the betterment of the team, and you do the same thing in the workforce. So like if you're not going to take it seriously on the court or on the field, why should somebody hire you for a six-figure job when you graduate?
Right.
Because if you can't take it seriously for something that you love, 90% of the time when you get a job, it's not something that you love, it's just something that you have to do. So if you're not putting it in for what you love, you're not going to put it in for what you have to do. And I always tell these kids, like, listen, you have to understand that sports is a game, but it's a game of life. And you
Mm-hmm.
got to understand that everything is a correlation. Being late, being late to a workout, not touching the lines, not communicating on defense, not diving on the floor for a loose ball. So that means you're not willing to sacrifice. You're not willing to do what it takes. Because some people 6-figure salary can end up being a 7-figure salary if they put in the right work, and then and those doors open up because they say, hey, this kid, he really wants it, or she really wants it. They're really, really willing to work and do whatever it takes. So let's take them under our wing and let's help them build. But if you're not willing to sacrifice, if you're not willing to go the extra mile, then why should somebody reach out and try to help you?
Facts. Facts. Mitch, can you give us an example, man? I mean, bring us behind the scenes, man, when there was a time where like you had to make one of those sacrifices, whether it's on the court, or on the sideline as a coach.
So there's always opportunities and sacrifices as coaches. Like I've lost games because I've sat players. Yeah, just to teach lessons, and people on the outside are like, oh, why are you not playing this person? And I'll tell them that maybe they're hurt. You know, it was a situation where I couldn't play them that day because I don't want to embarrass them, But my thing is like, I'm gonna sit you because you didn't go to class or you didn't do what you're supposed to do. And you're not just hurting yourself, you're being selfish, but you're what you're doing is affecting everybody else. You're affecting the whole program. Like, and sometimes these games are tight. These standings are tight. One or two games could have you be in the first place team to the fifth place team.
All right.
So, as always in coaching, there's always ways that you can teach that may not be the best thing for the fan to see, but it's the best thing for the kid in the long run. Because as long as you're teaching them the lesson and as long as you're communicating with them about why you did what you did, they could be mad today, they could be mad tomorrow. But 5 years down the line, when they come back and they be like, hey, coach, you know what? I learned some valuable lessons. I'm not perfect by far. By no means am I perfect. I've lost games I was supposed to win. I've won games I was supposed to lose. But at the end of the day, you try to teach these kids these lessons that'll be lifelong lessons that they can one day teach their children or teach some youth that they mentor.
Oh, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, man.
Mitch, who are some of the coaches that help you grow your game and help you grow as a man?
So to help me grow as a man, I'll first and foremost I want to say my mom was my biggest coach, right?
Like that.
And she instilled all my values. She also told me that education first, and sometimes I had to learn that lesson the hard way. You can't go out and you play with your friends because you're not getting the grades that I expect you to get. You can't go. And that you can't go, man. There was no negotiations
Mhm.
whatsoever with that. That was just it. Like, so like my shout out to my mom, rest in peace. I had a conversation with one of my mentors from the Gallagher Community Center, and it's a female. Her name is Tara Young. And every time I go on a podcast, I mention her name because
Shout out to Tara Young.
yeah, because she
Looking forward to having you on the podcast soon. Call
yeah,
you out.
because she took me under her wing and she used to bring me out of my comfort zone. Um, and she had me playing in men's leagues when I was 15.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
I was the last man on the bench, but she'll throw me in there, against grown men. And I think those couple of summers kind of shifted my process, made me work harder, made me understand the game a little bit better. Um, it was just a benefit all the way around. She did a great justice to what I do. My college coach, Charlie Titus at UMass. Um, He's a mentor. He's one of the reasons that I'm coaching today. Learned a lot from him, not just on the court, but off the court, that life stuff, that let me talk to you for a second, stay late so I can have this conversation with you about life. Um, and as I started coaching, I coached under Malcolm Smith at East Boston. I learned a lot of lessons from him. He was the one that threw me in the fire and was like, hey, man, I need to play. It's a big game. There's a couple seconds left. What you got? And the first couple of times, you stumbling like, oh, I'm nervous. But like when you get thrown in the fire, like either you're gonna get burnt or you're gonna get up out the fire. So he kind of like shaped my coaching ability under fire. And then I had Corey McCarthy at New Mission. I coached under him, and I actually won my first state title with him. It just was so organized. So like I
What
take
year was that? 2012, 13?
2014.
14?
2014. Yep. So I take pieces from everybody and put them together and try to make my little serum.
Yeah.
And that's that's what it's all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. I'm Talking Shit Sports Podcast. We got a state champion. We got a state champion coach out here. You know what I mean? That's big news. That's a big deal. That's rare air around here. You know what I mean? So, I mean, can you talk to us and then just, all the young hoopers, all the young athletes, man, how, I know you said, your mentor and your coach, Hari, used to throw you in against grown men. As an athlete, how did you handle adversity?
So
how did you handle the highs and the lows?
So it's all about your mindset, right? It's like, things are not fair sometimes. You're the low man on the totem pole. It's either you're gonna stay the low man on the totem pole or you're just gonna start working. And the work will prove itself. Like it may not prove itself overnight, over the months, but over the years, you'll start catching up and passing people that you used to look up to.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to be the chubby kid, at the end of the bench on the BNBL teams, shoot a couple threes or whatever. And then I'm like, yo, this is not where, I want this journey to end, Started running, started jumping rope, started putting the real work in, started going to the gym shooting, then you go from the last man to the fifth man to the first man, and then you just continue the journey, you just continue to fight. And I tell kids all the time, if you're the best player in your gym, you need to find another gym.
Find another gym.
Right.
Facts.
You need to find another
Big
gym.
Facts. Yeah. Never want to be the best in your circle.
Because there's always opportunities to learn, and there's always a lesson in failure. People are so afraid to fail. It's what it really just holds people down. Like if you don't fail, you're not gonna succeed.
And you're not learning anything.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
Failure, their first attempt in learning.
Right.
Yeesh. Oh man.
That was that brought me back. That brought me back. You just saying that the fear of failure on the field. I just remember my first year playing South End baseball. I was terrible, man. I was terrible. I was scared of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I would I would bat so far away from the plate, like it was just ridiculous. And I just remember that whole after the season, that's when we started playing a lot of baseball. We played baseball in the tennis court, play baseball all over the projects, and that's where it built my confidence up. Just like that failure, like every time I would go up there, I would strike out, and it was just terrible. And then I go back the following year, made the All-Star team, and it was just, you need to go through adversity in sports. I mean, because you're gonna go through adversity in life. So what do you do when you go through adversity in life? You get up and go. I mean, because if you sit down and you dwell on the adversity, people just passing you a mile a minute. You know what I mean? So it's like you said, it correlates with definitely with life though.
Thanks. Mitch, man. Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, I know we talked yesterday. I mean, and like the fact that you're offering so much programming this summer, man. We definitely want you to talk a little bit about that, and where can cats find access to your programming, because it's going to be a good summer, man, and this is some good summer to get some work in.
All right, so we're doing a lot of partnerships this summer. Man, I don't want to forget anybody, so bear with me. So we're doing a partnership with Bossy Heat, Hardwood Jungle, and One Love Select. We're on Sundays at Phil's Corner. We're gonna do 13 to 15 league with ADSL.
Okay.
So we'd have some scholarships available. I think it's $40 fee for the summer. That's one thing we're doing. Tuesdays and Thursdays for the Pee-wees, 12 and under. We're gonna do a league there at Phil's Corner as well. 12 and under, Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's through Boston Heat. I could give you all the information that you could share it out whenever. So if somebody wants to know,
Oh
I
yeah.
got you.
Oh yeah. Like whatever you got going on, man, we want to post, we want to repost, we want to share, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we want to, make sure that cats have access all around the city, man. Like we know, I mean, the No Books No Ball was this past weekend.
Yep. They do a phenomenal job too.
Do a great job, and there are a few folks in that neighborhood. Some of the community leaders are going to build upon that, and they're going to have, I think it's Tuesdays and Fridays. They're going to build upon that. Tuesdays and Friday training over at Derby, I think from like 5 to 8. Nice. I heard about that yesterday. So like we want to broadcast and make sure all these young kids and families have all this information, man.
Cool. I got a couple. Hold on, I got a couple more.
Let's get it. Who's out there? Let's get it.
So we're doing June 27th to 28th. We're doing a free basketball clinic at Phil's Corner, the Red Arrow Back clinic through Battle New England. That's Al Ski. We're doing that for grades 4th through 6th. It's going to be from 8:30 to 3:30 on Saturday, 8:30 to 1:30 on Sunday. So that's June 27th to 28th or 26th to 27th. Don't quote me on the date, but it's that weekend. Wow. We're also partnering up with Youth in Crisis. We're doing a Monday, Wednesday 1 hour skills and 1 hour playing, and we're gonna feed the kids. It's gonna be at Roberts Playground and on River Street. So that's for high school kids. We're doing that. July 31st, we're taking the girls team, couple teams out to Rucker Park. We're playing out at the Rucker. We went out there 2 years. We were supposed to go out there last year.
I mean, that's the Mecca of street ball, ladies and gentlemen, up at the Rucker up in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
You already know what it is.
We lost a year because of COVID, but we're going back out there 31st. Let me see what else we got going on. We got a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget anybody, but forgive me if I did.
Yeah, no doubt. And to all the listeners, all the supporters of the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast, if you want to get involved, if you want to donate, money, equipment, your time, please reach out to us. And when you understand, we'll definitely do our best to connect you with all these wonderful programs and the program leaders and the coordinators, man. Because we really want like I think for us, man, just being 32 years old and just like this podcast has allowed us to hang out and learn from a lot of leaders like yourself, Mitch, man. And we want to continue to do our best to elevate the level of support, awareness, and competition here in the city of Boston, in the Massachusetts area. I mean, we want dogs coming out of here. And if we got some dogs coming out of here, we want to support them, and we got to support the kids early, man. So however you want to get involved, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this podcast, if you want to donate money, equipment, whatever, please hit us up on Instagram at the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Instagram, you can hit us, you can email us at Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast at Gmail. And we'll do our best to support you in that area. Mitch, I'm saying we covered a lot of ground, man. What's your vision? What's your vision for the city of Boston in terms of athletic training, in just Massachusetts in general? And what can this community do better in terms of preparing our young people?
That's a good question. I think like Boston in general is just so separated, Roxbury's Roxbury, Dorchester's Dorchester, Mattapan's South End, Rosendale, Hyde Park. Like if just imagine if we pooled all of our resources together and we work together instead of separately. My dream is always to build a team that's gonna be able to reach as many kids as we could possibly can.
Right.
Like so, you're only as strong as your team, and I feel like if we're able to build together, learn from each other, nobody's too old to learn, right? Nobody is too good to learn. Everybody has different things that they're good at, and if we could pool our resources and just come up with something collective that we can do just to represent Boston as a whole. I mean, I think, the sky is the limit for that because there's so many good trainers around that, some kids just are locked into one person. And I always tell my kids, there's an opportunity for you to go train here, go train there, go do it. Like I'm never going to tell somebody not to go to somebody to train. Like everybody needs to get all that work in. And if we're all sending our kids to each other, all of the kids are learning. Then you got kids that are from Roxbury that's training in Mattapan that maybe now, they feel safer and vice versa and traveling, on the train. Maybe, some people got beef with other people, but we kind of like were able to like build like that community bond of like that basketball bond
Right.
throughout the city and throughout the state where, nah, man, that's my man from over there. Yeah, chill with that today.
Right, right. You should be able to
Like
go anywhere.
right,
Yeah.
If
and
I'm hooping with
that
you, I should be able to go anywhere. You know what I mean?
right, and that's my dream. Like if we can, we could really put these guns down as with these young kids and just, pick
Man.
up a ball and hoop and just get to it, man, and just, everybody want to see everybody be successful.
Right, right, right. I'm not instead of
Yeah.
knocking this cat's heads off. You know what I mean, I
Right.
want to bust his ass on the court. You know what I mean, and
Right.
that's
Exactly,
that's
Right.
what it
exactly.
should be about. You know what I
Yeah,
mean, because I just remember, man, there's a couple cats I almost got beef with, but I mean, I came across them on the baseball field, on the football field, and it was game on. Lights is on. Let's get it, baby boy.
yeah.
My dad's in the stands, baby. I'm showing
Right
out
there
today.
is the scan.
And then you end up being friends, man. And
Yeah,
then,
Right.
facts.
Right.
because you're
Right.
Facts. I
competing so
respect
hard
you.
against each other, you going hard, I'm going hard. We now it's a mutual respect. Now every time we see each other, we show each other love, and then like you build that bond in that community, man, where like
Right.
back in the day, like there wasn't so much social media chatter and
Yeah,
people talking trash on social
yeah,
media. And
Right.
that's where a lot of this beef is happening on
yeah.
Exactly.
social media, but like we was face to face, communicating, kicking it, and I feel like if we get back more to that with these younger kids, then we'll have a lower rate, man. I'm just scared of the rate going up, man, of
Mm,
these killings, these man senseless
facts.
killings, man. And that's the one thing that scares me, but that's the one thing that keeps me, in the city, working with these kids, trying to keep them on the court and off the streets.
Right.
Facts.
Well, that's important,
Mitch,
man. That's
Mitch, keep the
important.
kids off the street, man.
I
I mean,
like that.
that's what sports did for us, P. That's what
No,
Yeah.
sports did for us, and that's what it should continue to do, man. But we definitely want to transition now, man, because it's the playoff, Mitch. I mean, I need your insight. I need to know what's going on through your mind because I know you're a genius at this, man. The NBA playoffs right now. The Suns just swept Denver. I mean,
yes.
I'm saying Jokic got the MVP. I know the Suns was like, all right, cool, we about to show you what's up.
They
But
sent
nobody
them home
saw
with
them
it.
getting swept.
They
So
sent them
what's
home
up,
with
man?
it.
Why is CP3 back or are the Suns for real?
I don't think he ever left though.
Nah, he definitely never left.
All right,
They
talk about it. Let's get it.
he makes every team he goes to better.
Yeah, he does.
Denver. I mean, Denver was good, but without Murray, they didn't have a shot. I didn't
Right.
think they were gonna get swept. I thought they would take 1 or 2 games. I'm not gonna front, but like them getting swept, that was just a straight disaster. And you see Joker frustration at the end. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
CP3, he makes it easier for Booker. He makes it easier for Aiton. And all those role players is shooting. They got shooters everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
He's just a genius. He's playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers.
Right.
Hmm.
You
I mean,
know,
So why couldn't it fit in Houston? Why couldn't it fit in? I mean, obviously it did work. It did work out in Oklahoma City because nobody thought,
in Houston,
like nobody
remember,
thought.
he got hurt.
yeah,
And
he got hurt. He definitely got hurt. But also, him and James, they both kind of need to rock. You know, they're both ball dominant. They both playmakers. You know, as you see now, James Harden is really a playmaker. They used to say he was just a scorer, but you see how important he is right now. He
Right.
he took the back seat and said, I'll be the point guard. I'll facilitate. When you need a bucket, I could get it. But if you could get it, you could get it. I love the way he transitioned, man. That's
Lit.
growth. That's growth right there.
I mean, you look at that Suns team. To be honest, like that's the same Sun team
That was
of a
8-0 in
year
the
ago.
bubble. It was 8-0 in the bubble.
Right. And that's why I respect CP3 so much, because it's like you said, he makes everybody on the court so much better. And I feel like that's exactly what Devin Booker needed to, him to elevate his game, a true point guard that's going to help him get his. Because you could see he's playing with some confidence. Like I have, like
Is he?
I mean, you see Booker in a bubble. He had confidence last year. Yes, he did. But this year, you can see his confidence is up here, and he's talking shit. He's dunking on cats. He's shooting on cats, and I'm like, yo, I've seen Booker play in college, and I've seen him obviously in the NBA. I've never seen him talk shit to anybody. But when you have that confidence and you have CP3,
Oh, I remember him talking shit. I remember him talking shit when he dropped 70 on the Celtics.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, of course, if you're gonna drop 70, you're gonna talk some shit.
70.
70 piece. 70 piece.
70.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. But the boy, I mean, CP3, whether he wins a ring or not, he's still a Hall of Famer.
Hold on. Be careful. What are you saying?
No, he's a Hall of Famer in my eyes.
Okay.
No, he's first ballot. I think he was getting on you because you was about to say something about some rings. And we had a conversation.
He's first ballot? He's first ballot? You think
so? He's first ballot, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's first ballot Hall of Famer, man.
Okay.
Like,
first ballot.
Absolutely. He's a proven winner.
Yeah.
I mean,
without a ring, he's first ballot.
It's the playoffs where it counts. I mean, this is his first Western Conference final.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like you got New Orleans.
You can't control if you get hurt or not.
You got Houston. I mean, OKC, and now the Suns. Like, and you can't, like, he has weapons now. He's one of these players that have had weapons. I mean, where is he amongst the great point guards right now? Mitch, what do you think?
He's top 10 all time.
Top 10.
Give me a 10. I need your 10, Mitch. Putting you on the spot. 10. Need your 10.
Here you go. Let's see. We go Magic. 10. We go Magic, Isaiah, J Kidd.
Okay.
Let's see. Magic, Isaiah, J Kidd. I'll go old school, Tiny Archibald. Steph. You gotta put Steph. That's 5. Let's see. I won't put AI because we'll put an AI as a 2.
He's a 2.
We put him as a 2. Let's see. Then I put Stockton in my top 10 because of.
Oh, you have to.
I put Stockton in my top 10. J Kidd in my top 10. What's that? 7.
You putting Gary?
I like Gary. I like Gary.
The glove was tough.
I think I put CP3 before him though.
Okay.
On my 10.
I could see that happen.
I put CP3 where I'm at.
You at 7 right now.
Nah. It's tough.
Nah, it's real, man. There's a lot of guards out
tough.
there that impact.
I would love to say in a couple of years, Kyrie would be in there as well as one of those. Even though he stomped on Lucky's face. I'm not really feeling that. So, but he is up there.
Bet. Now that's lit, man.
Yeah.
Who's your team though? I know you're Boston bred, green all the way through.
Yeah.
I mean, are you just a lifer in terms of being a Celtics fan? Because I definitely want to get your opinion about Danny Ainge.
Well, since Jordan retired, I've been a Celtics fan.
Heard you.
I was a Jordan fan. I was repping the Bulls back in the day when I was younger. I ain't even going front. But yeah, ever since Jordan retired the second time.
Yeah, man. So Danny Ainge steps down after years of hoarding all these picks. Everyone's giving him praise about all these draft picks. I mean, you only turned those picks into 3 things, man. I mean, Tatum, Brown, and Kyrie. And you overpaid Gordon Hayward. You overpaid Kemba. I mean, you put everyone on blast, talking about everyone's tradable for AD. We all knew AD. You failed at that because AD wasn't even have a chance of coming here. So you alienated the team. You know what I mean? And now it's in shambles. Now it's in shambles. So talk about it, Mitch. What's the future of the Celtics?
He left the Celtics in a tough spot. He went and got Evan Fournier and bounced.
Oh my gosh, man. Like that,
expert move.
Like that was foul.
And then he put Brad in the office. I don't know if Brad's gonna pull the triggers that he need to pull either. I don't know what the Celtics need to do, to be honest with you, man. Like, you're just so heavy at the 2-3 spot. Don't have enough size. Kemba's not, he's still not healthy. So I don't know if they're gonna move on from Kemba.
Got 3 max players on the roster right now.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make something happen, man. They're gonna them picks and all that. It sounded good in the beginning, but yeah, he didn't draft too well. He's loving Romeo Langford and those guys.
I think Romeo needs another year. I think Romeo has some potential, but he didn't hit.
But how much is he gonna play if Brown and Tatum is taking all the minutes?
Right.
So that leads to my next question. Oh yeah, Smart. Yep, Smart's in there. He might be the tradable piece because I think he's a better J.R. Smith if he was.
But how much?
Nice shooter, play some defense.
He's part of a package. He'll be part of a package. He's
for sure.
Right.
For sure.
You don't have enough film on him on the court. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't get out there that much. But Brad Stevens and it's just like a whole soap opera, man. Like, because Brad Stevens as a coach, he was questionable. I think he needed to leave. Like, if both of them left, I would have been okay. If Brad Stevens left and you left Danny up there, I would have still been mad. But it's like, you don't put Brad Stevens in the office. Like you said, he's not gonna push the right buttons. I feel like he's not gonna push the right buttons.
I thought he should have went back to college. He should have took that Indiana job.
He should have. He should have, because he looked stressed. He looked stressed on the court. Yeah. And I feel like he lost the team a long time ago. Like, you could tell the Cats was just not. It was just playing just to play basketball. They wasn't playing running plays because I believe my coach and I believe in my coach or anything like that. You can just see that in them, that they was just out there just playing for, I'm trying to make this all NBA team. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make this all-star team or whatever the case may be. But it's gonna be interesting, man. I definitely want to see who they're gonna bring in as a coach, man. But
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good search, man.
They should go out and Sam is out there. Sam I am is out there, and
Chauncey Billups too.
Chauncey, yeah.
Jason Kidd pulled his name out.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. I just think there's just such a disconnect with Danny Ainge and the culture right now. Especially when he made that statement about not hearing about any racism in Boston.
Oh man!
I once I heard him say that, I knew he was gone. Right. I knew there was one way or another he was going to be gone, because that was just blatant BS. Right. You're just feeding us garbage,
Right.
And like that's enough is enough. You just that was the tip of the iceberg right there. That was a wrap.
Right.
I don't know.
Facts. Like you're from here, so you spent some considerable time and had some. I'm sure you've had some some questionable experiences, man, and just in terms of what this city is rooted in. I mean, is rooted in whiteness, is rooted in just the haves and the have-nots. I mean, can you speak to I know I was having this conversation with someone else, and I brought up the point that young, rich Black men in the league or whatever, successful Black men don't want to come and live here, don't want to come and spend their money here, don't want to there's no what spaces are there for these young men to come in here and live their lives if they sign an extension or if they get traded here? I mean, we have to look at the stuff outside of the court, outside of the garden, on how these guys are able to thrive here, and there's just no space for them. And nobody wants to be here. And I feel like the city of Boston, these Celtics fans, as we seen the young dude throw the water bottle on Kyrie, it's real. And the city is just it goes back to hundreds of years, man, and it's not going to change.
And to be honest, D, I feel like even you mentioned Kyrie, I feel like he really didn't want to play for us. Like when he got
to a point, it looked like it, yeah.
Right. He didn't want to play for us. And maybe, what you just alluded to, that was the reasons why he was like, you know what, I'm not gonna give this team my all. I mean, I'm gonna, end up, free agency's coming up in 2 years, because he was with us for 2 seasons or whatever. He was like, I'm gonna just ride this out. He played a couple of games and then he was just hurt. I mean, and I just feel like he knew, like, it's Boston. I'm not gonna stay here. Like, what is gonna attract me to stay here? Like, okay, you have the nice banners up there, whatever, but that's not enough.
Boston is one of those places where they're gonna have to pull moves like Toronto did, like to get Kawhi. You got to trade for cats, get them here on their last year of the deal, and try to convince them.
Yeah.
And try to convince them to stay. That's the only thing you can really do up here, because even though every team has to pay their money, we're getting second and third tier free agents.
Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right about that. I remember back in the day, D Brown was driving around in Wellesley, and he lived out there, and the police pulled him out the car at gunpoint. Like, it's not a free agent friendly place to be, and we all know that. So it's gonna be really difficult if we don't build within the draft. And that's what stinks so bad, is because so many of the draft picks weren't just those guys that could just come in and impact right away. We have a lot of people that have potential to be good in a couple years, and we're so young with our superstars. Tatum and Brown are so young, like we have time to grow. But is it a situation where it's going to end up more toxic than good? Because I see that locker room is got to be toxic.
I think it's got to.
It's got to be toxic.
Right now, at this point, it's toxic. It's toxic, because I feel like there's no true leadership in there. Because when you have Brad Stevens a couple of years ago, when they was going through their whole situation, and he's talking about, they can figure it out. Like, you're not showing your team that you're a leader. Like, you just basically, all right, they'll figure it out. Like, no, bro, you have to step in. That's your job as a coach.
That's why Phil Jackson was so good. He just used to get those. He used to get those guys in check, man.
Get them to buy in.
Exactly.
You got to build the culture and get them to buy in. Speaking of buying in, I mean, I wasn't at first a couple years, but I mean, these last 2 playoffs, man, Donovan Mitchell. What's good with D Mitch? What's good with D Mitch? I didn't see this.
He's tough, man.
Yeah. Mitch.
And he's getting better every year.
Louisville. Yeah.
He's getting better every year. And he has supreme confidence as well. It makes a difference, man, when you have that supreme confidence and your coach really believes in what you can do. Because, I mean, he come down and take a couple bad shots. He's not coming out. So he's got that confidence to just go work. And, you can see he's working on his game. His flow to game's tough. His Euro's tough. His sidestep, 3-ball's tough. Like, he's been in the lab.
Right.
And those repetitions give you that confidence. And when you're out working, it shows.
Facts.
Right. Facts. And then that's like you said, and we, we talked about it earlier, how you separate yourself from the pack.
Exactly.
And I feel like that work that you just talked about, that he's doing, the repetition in the off season, like, it's shown right now in the playoff. Like, he is going out there busting ass.
He's using them dudes as cones.
Right. Like, this is just a workout.
Yeah.
Just a workout. And that's how he's been, showing up this whole playoff. I mean, because we could take it back to the bubble when he was just showing off, dropping
50 balls
like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. And now he took that same confidence that he had in the bubble into the season, got the boys playing in first place. Like, I was thinking at some point that they're going to fall off.
Right.
At some point, I was like, yeah, Utah's good, but yeah, them boys kept it up the whole season, first place. And I think they might be a dangerous team, man.
They got pieces, man. They got pieces.
They have that. They play defense. That's one thing that they do. They definitely play defense. They got a lot of shooters. And then you have the defensive player of the year, back there that's swatting everything.
3 times.
And I feel like with the injury in Brooklyn, And if they're hurt and they, they get, bounced out, that might be the sleeper team right there.
Facts. It's gonna be interesting playoffs, man. I mean, I can't wait to see who's gonna be the champion, man, because we're gonna see some good matchups, man. But Mitch, man, I mean, we ain't got too much time. I definitely don't want to keep you all night, man. Something we do all our guests, man. Who's your GOAT? Brady, Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, AI, Serena. I mean, Tiger Woods. Who's the greatest? Who's your greatest athlete of all time?
All right, so I'll answer this like this. My favorite player of all time is Jordan. The player I think is the GOAT is Kareem.
Heard you. Can't argue with that.
It's
That's
Kareem.
real.
It's
paying
one
homage.
One at every level. I just think that like his body of work through the years and his longevity, I just think that and especially coming through the civil rights movement, they changing rules because of him developing the sky hook, him dealing with all that adversity, and just being a leader. Like I just, I respect that. And I also respect these younger guys like LeBron and those guys with their activism and, building schools and, doing everything for the movement, man. Without those guys doing that, man, and bringing things to the forefront, I don't think the motion that we're going in will be picking up the momentum that it is.
Facts.
No, definitely.
Appreciate you, big dog. I mean, one last
man.
thing before we get out of here, man. I mean, we know that, obviously we're, we're in the sports community, man. We're trying to reach as many young people as possible. Whether it's young athletes or younger coaches coming up, behind you. What is some wisdom that you want to impart on them before we get out of here?
Stay the course. Run your race. My motto is respect the process. And what it is just, you're doing your thing, you staying in your lane, you're putting in your work, your time will come. Don't worry about the next man and his time coming before yours. You just keep grinding and keep working and, respect the process.
What you got for him, P?
I like that. The quote that I have for this week is everything comes to him who hustles while waiting. Like Mitch just said, just you stay in your own lane, grind out, do whatever you have to do, and just keep your head down. I mean, every process has a story, man. So you just gotta, stay the course, keep your head down, and just grind, man. That's the most important part about it. Just
fall in love with the journey.
Fall in love with the journey.
Yeah, fall in love with the journey, man. I definitely believe in that, and there's definitely no excuses. One thing I want to leave with the folks, man, is when you're prepared for your moment, when it comes, because everyone's going to get their opportunity only if you're prepared. So your preparedness opens the doors, opens the keys, gets you the minutes, it gets you the exposure that you need. So be prepared for your moment, for your opportunity to get on the court and dominate. Young people, I cannot stress that enough. Whether you're on the court and off the court, your preparation will take you further than your talent. And Coach, I know you talk about radio and Raheem, how he was, getting up every morning and just running miles, man. Especially coming from where he comes from, man. Like you can't teach that. I mean, wow. So whenever he got his opportunity, as you said, he's been playing pro ball every year consistently for the last couple of years because he's prepared to play and be a professional. So that's what that's definitely what I want the young people to think is always be prepared and do your best to be prepared. You know what I mean? Because that's all on you. We want to thank our coach for coming on, spitting knowledge, Boston's own. You know what I mean? You already know what it is, man. Mitch Hurt, man. I mean, we salute you, your journey. However we can support you, please let us know. You know what I mean? We are here to support the young people in this movement, just elevating the competition here in the city of Boston, man. You know what I mean? So we salute you. We thank you. You're always welcome back to the podcast whenever, I mean, this is our home. So you're always welcome. I mean, I want everyone right now to go subscribe to this Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. I mean, you can find all our content, all our videos, all these amazing journeys from coaches, trainers, to current and former athletes. You can find us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts at the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. And that's what we got. I mean, it's lit. We want to thank y'all and see y'all next week. We have some amazing guests for the rest of the summer. Please holler at us, lock in with us. P, what you got? We good?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's lit. All right, man. We'll see y'all next week.
That's it.